What's happening? What's happening, good people? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing on this? What's it? Wednesday morning? On this Wednesday morning, December 4th, 2024. Jay-Z's birthday. Just got finished eating my birthday cake. My birthday was November 29th. Sagittarius is in the house. Without further ado, man, let's get right into it. Let me get a sip of coffee first, though, y'all. Gotta get my coffee on her. Y'all, last night it got cold. It got cold here in Carolina last night, y'all. It got cold. It got cold. It cold outside. 22 degrees last night, y'all. I had to bring my plant in. Had to bring my fern in. All right. Without further ado, let's get right into it, y'all. Okay. Yes, the answer was yes. It began to feel the nauseousness. Let's back up. Let's back up. All right. So we started a new section yesterday. Okay. All right. Let's get it. Miniature Jacob flinched, but was unaffected, untouched by the arachnid. Now, this is one thing I hadn't researched yesterday. I gotta look up Granddaddy Longleg real quick to make sure it's an actual spider. You know, sometimes you think things are one thing and then they end up being something else. So let's go to old Google here. I had to put my glasses on, y'all. Gotta put my glasses on because I don't know what in the heck. I don't know. I can't see. 48 years old, y'all. Put my glasses on. Let's see. Granddaddy. What do you know? Grand National came up. Granddaddy Long Leg. Excuse me. Yep, it is an arachnid. Let's see. Harvestman also. Harvestman. That's what it's called. Harvestman, also known as daddy longlegs. What did I have? Oh man, let me pause this. All right, I'm back. Harvestmen, also known as daddy longlegs, are an order of arachnids. As of July 2024, over 6,650 species of harvestmen. Anyways, it's an arachnid, y'all. Because now, alright, Wikipedia still can't be sold. Okay, skip. As of July 2024, over 6,650 species of harvestmen have been discovered worldwide, although the total number of extant species may exceed 10,000. The order. Okay, so it is an arachnid. It's a spider. A daddy longleg is a spider. Let's get back to it, y'all. Take my reading glasses off so now I can see the screen. You know what I mean? Yo, it was cold last night. And then I messed around, turned the heater on in my room, and didn't even realize I didn't have it all the way. I had it turned to like half speed, so I'm wondering why it's not heating up. Yes. Wait a minute. Alright. Miniature Jacob flinched, but was unaffected, untouched by the arachnid. As it looked up, the sky seemed farther away. The trees were enormous. There was a cardinal looking down at it. Is this really happening? he asked himself. Yes, the answer was yes. It began to feel the nauseousness that is accompanied with time-space traversing. It's similar to that feeling that comes after intently watching too many old home videos in one setting. It only feels this way momentarily, however, before coming back to the present moment. It wasn't long before it attached itself to the boy. Man, do I enjoy spending quality time with my father, Jacob said to himself, but loud enough for Henry to hear. Tickled by his son's flattery, Lord have mercy, Tickled by his son's flattery, an embarrassed smile came over the man's face. With a glance upward toward the tree line, his appreciation for the moment was solidified by the sight of fading. I think I used solidified before. With a glance upward toward the tree line, his appreciation of the moment. His appreciation of the moment was solidified by the sight of fadings. Okay, there was an appreciation for the moment. The sight of fading sun rays. Okay. His appreciation of the moment was solidified by the sight of the fading sun rays. We really must do this more often, Father, Jacob added, astonished by how clever his son was thinking to be. Astonished by how clever his son was thinking he was being. Astonished by how clever. Astonished by his son's cleverness. Astonished by his son's cleverness. Astonished by his son's cleverness. Yeah, that sounds better. Astonished by his son's cleverness, Henry chose to surprise the unexpecting child by joining in. Henry chose to surprise the unexpected child by joining in. But of course, son, it would be of the highest pleasure, said Henry. Father, he said with authority. Okay, so this transition, so we have Jacob speaking a certain type of way. He's only 10, but this is a novel, so hey, yesterday I was thinking maybe we shouldn't, push the envelope as far as Jacob's going into this type of dialogue, but now I'm saying to myself, it's a novel. Movies, novels, sitcoms, TV series, these are all fiction. You can be so realistic, but then you have to give it some leniency as far as engaging the reader. So right here, when Jacob is talking fancy, like Jeffrey off of Fresh Bel-Air. If y'all hadn't seen that, if y'all hadn't seen Bel-Air, the series on I think it's on Peacock, you got to check that out. You will not be disappointed. That show is. Salute to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. I think Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, I think they both have a lot to do with the writing on this show. That show was awesome because I know their personalities over the course of 30 some years now, almost 40 years with Will Smith. These guys have been in our lives, and I know Will Smith by now. Even though he puts on a facade, all of them put on a facade, with the exception of I think Tracy Morgan is really Tracy Morgan. I think Ice Cube is really Ice Cube. I think Snoop is really Snoop. Snoop is, a really good guy these days. Nas and others, you know what I mean? But some of them still. Now, Will Smith had a facade until he slapped the living daylights out of Chris Rock. That's when we said, oh, okay, there's the real Will Smith right now. Stand up now. So, tickled by his son's flattery, an embarrassed smile came over the man's face. With a glance upward toward the tree line, his appreciation of the moment was solidified by the sight of the fading sun rays. "We really must do this more often, Father," Jacob added, astonished by his son's cleverness. Astonished? Let's see, astonished. Flabbergasted? I think flabbergasted, right? Flabbergasted by his son's cleverness. What about caught off guard? Caught off guard. Oh, that's good. Henry chose to surprise the unexpected child by joining in. "But of course, son, it would be of the highest pleasure," said Henry. Huh? Jacob stalled. Jacob stalled before. Huh? Let's do this. Let's italics, because he said this kind of under his breath. Huh? Jacob stalled before coming back with Father. But of course, son, writing is really, for me, is really magic, because I'm seeing these images. And the more I go over the story, the more etched in my imagination they become, the characters. Everything all the way down to a leaf on a tree or a grain of sand on the ground. The little spirit thing that's now following Jacob along. As I go over the story again, it becomes more entrenched in my thought process and in my imagination. I actually see these characters. So to me, magic is like writing is like real magic. "But of course, son, it would be of the highest pleasure," said Henry. Huh? Jacob stalled before coming back with, "Father," he said with authority. "Yes, son," Henry answered back with soft chuckles. Henry answered back while chuckling. Have you ever noticed the beauty that bestows... Have you ever noticed the beauty that bestows one after entering the lush greenness of the forest? He's 10, but anyways. Knowing his son would continue on with ridiculousness, and it would become quite ridiculous. Thank God for spell check. Knowing his son would continue on with ridiculousness, Is it ridiculous? Knowing his son would continue on with shenanigans? Yeah, let's say shenanigans. How do you spell shenanigans? I don't know. It's a good question. Y'all, I've told you all, if you've been here for a while, don't come to me when you want to. If it's a big word, it better be Mississippi. I can spell Mississippi. Siri, how do you spell shenanigans? I guess I could have sounded this one out. Knowing his son would continue on with the shenanigans, and it would become quite ridiculous. Henry decided to call it quits before the boy got to be too annoying. Henry decided to call it quits before the boy got to be, let's say, persistent, not annoying. We don't want the father-son dynamic to be one of negativity in any kind of way, like actual negativity. In real life, your kid can be annoying, but for the sake of the story, we're gonna say persistent, not annoying. Gotta watch certain words. Knowing his son would continue on with the shenanigans, and it would become quite ridiculous, Henry decided to call it quits before the boy got to be too persistent. Yeah, that's right. That's good. Okay, Jake. Now that's just too much. He smiled. You're going a little overboard with all the theatrics. With all the theater Shakespearean talk. We're just not those type. If you want a puppy, just act normal. Well, maybe not your normal. Just stop acting so. Just continue to do good in school and keep helping out around the house. If you can do this for a few weeks without getting into anything foolish, you'll have a puppy. But do not for 1 minute think that a puppy can take care of itself. If you mistreat this puppy or neglect it, the dog will have to go to someone else. Understood? Yes, Father. I got it, Daddy. I love the character Jacob. Jacob is a cool kid. I like Jacob. Jacob has been in my life for 25 years, y'all. All right, so chapter 4. What I may do is I may go ahead and turn that red green, y'all, today. It's only been 19 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. We're moving on. We're moving on already. Yes, the answer was yes. It began to feel the nauseousness. Alright, whenever I start right there, it's kind of confusing, so let me go up a little bit. Alright, miniature Jacob flinched, but was unaffected, untouched by the arachnid. As they looked up, the sky seemed farther away. The trees were enormous. There was a cardinal looking down at him. Is this really happening? He asked himself. Yes, the answer was yes. It began to feel the nauseousness that is accompanied with time-space reversing. It's similar to that feeling that comes after intently watching too many home videos. In one setting. It only feels this way momentarily, however, before coming back to the present moment. It wasn't long before it attached itself to the boy. Man, do I enjoy spending quality time with my father, Jacob said to himself, but loud enough for Henry to hear. Tickled by his son's flattery, an embarrassed smile came over his face. Tickled by his son's flattery, an embarrassed smile came over the man's face. With a glance upward toward the tree line, his appreciation of the moment was solidified by the sight of fading sun rays. We really must do this more often, Father, Jacob added, flabbergasted by his sons. By the sight. Okay. You don't have to say he's flabbergasted by his sons. He's just flabbergasted. I'm learning a lot, you all. I'm learning a lot by speaking out loud. While, reading this out loud, I'm learning because I'm hearing certain things now. I'm hearing this undercurrent of the story while simultaneously trying to catch the rhythm, trying to fix the rhythm. It's a lot that's involved when you read out loud. I have no objections to it. I'm listening to my voice and how I pronounce words. Tickled by his son's flattery, an embarrassed smile, let's try that. Let's see. I don't think that's right, but let's see. An embarrassed smile. Yeah, I think it is. Anyways, this has never been edited by anybody but myself, so y'all don't kick me too hard. Tickled by his son's flattery, an embarrassed smile came over the man's face. With a glance upward toward the tree line, his appreciation of the moment was solidified by the sight of fading sun rays. Oh yeah, that sounds better. We really must do this more often, Father, Jacob added. Flabbergasted, Henry chose to surprise the unexpected child by joining in. But of course, son, it would be of the highest pleasure, said Henry. Huh? Jacob stalled before coming back with, Father, he said with authority. I don't have to. Let me see. Huh? Jacob stalled before coming back with, Father. Should that be a question mark? Jacob stalled by the surprise. Jacob stalled from his dad's unexpected role play. Huh? Jacob stalled from his dad's unexpected role play. Anyways, you don't have to say that either. Jacob stalled. But of course, because I already say what he's doing, I already tell you what he's doing. We really must do this more often, Father, Jacob added. Flabbergasted, Henry chose to surprise the unexpected child by joining in. But of course, son, it would be of the highest pleasure, said Henry. Huh? Jacob stalled. See, I already tell you what he's doing. Right here. Oh, you can't see where I'm pointing at. Let me get the marker. Right here, I'm telling you what he's doing. I'm telling you what Henry is doing. Flabbergasted, Henry chose to surprise the unexpected child by joining in. So I'm telling the reader what Henry is doing. Okay? So this is why Jacob says, huh? Jacob stalled before coming back with father. That should be is it a question? I don't know. Yes, son. Henry answered back with chuckles. Have you ever noticed the beauty that bestows one after entering the lush greenness of the forest? Now, I could actually flip this one line right here. I could actually flip this and incorporate this as though, Jacob has been affected by the little sprite thing, the little spirit thing, has him speaking like this, and then even take that even deeper. You know what I mean? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight this. Well, actually, I'm gonna leave a comment here. Should this go deeper? As in the sprite. I like saying sprite. The sprite thing is causing Jacob to speak. Okay, spell speak like this. As in the sprite thing is causing Jacob to speak like this. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. It's highlighted. Knowing his son would continue on with the shenanigans. Now, see, so if I'm saying knowing his son, so this is not the first time Jacob's ever done this, so. Let's say thinking. Or assuming. Assuming his son would continue on with the shenanigans, and it would become quite ridiculous. No, I don't have to say that. Assuming his son would continue with the shenanigans, Henry decided to call it quits before the boy got to be too persistent. Okay, Jake, now that's just too much. He smiled. You're going a little overboard with all the theatrics, Shakespearean talk. Theater. Excuse me. We're just not those type. If you want a puppy, just act normal. Well, maybe not your normal. Just stop acting so. Just continue to do good in school and keep helping out around the house. If you can do this for a few weeks, without getting into any foolishness, without getting into any foolishness, you'll have a puppy. But do not for 1 minute think that a puppy can take care of itself. If you mistreat this puppy or neglect it, the dog will have to go to someone else. Understood? Have to go to a new home. Understood? Yes, Father. I got it, Daddy. All right. So we're gonna pick it up right here, and y'all, please excuse me because I just noticed that I had gone over. I'll give an example. Foolishness. That was my fourth time going over this on camera, and I was reading foolishness right here. If you can do this for a few weeks without getting into any foolishness, that was my fourth time reading that, and it was foolish, not foolishness. So it's probably more words like that people are noticing. And you gotta forgive me. It is what it is. Anyways, we're at 31 minutes, almost 32 minutes here. We're gonna leave it right here. Thank you all for stopping by. This is Anthony L. Kelly. Hit that like, leave a comment. I gotta double dutch this again. This is a story that you want to be a part of. I can say that with all confidence. This is a story you want to be a part of. So leave a comment, like, share, all of this stuff. Till next time, salute to all y'all. This is Anthony L. Kelly. I'm out.